If you are not happy with your cold call results, not happy with your discovery, demo results, you're not closing the deal that you want, in this video, I'm going to show you a very simple tool that you can use to go through and rate your calls to see exactly where you need to improve to get better results. If you stay through the end of this video, I'll show you exactly where you can download the tool as well, completely free and completely ungated. Let's dive right in. So with this tool, to show you exactly where to get next, but what you're going to want to do is once you access it, go ahead and file, make a copy. Do not request edit access, just make a copy so you can have your own version to use, and then there'll be a cold call tab and a discovery and demo tab that you can use as well. So it's a very simple tool to use, and this will help you remove any type of happy ears, any type of false positives, and help you be able to objectively look at your calls to see what you need to improve, because if you don't get the desired result, then there's something going on in your process. So here's a cold call one, and of course, if you're not sure if you're rating yourself properly, you can also have someone else use the tool and go through and score your calls too. So for example here, this is the cold calls that we're going to start with first. And when you really think about it, when you're making an outbound call, you really have one primary objective, which is to book a meeting. That's your primary objective. So that's really pretty simple. So when you make that call, either you get it or you don't. That's it. It's very, very simple. However, there are nuances in between that can really impact whether you get it or not. So you'll see here on the cold call, there's going to be different categories here that you can actually go through and rate on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you did a terrible job, and 10 being you absolutely crushed it. So for example here, if you're listening to maybe one of your cold call recordings later on, you can go through and say, okay, how was my opener? It was a 7, it was decent, not incredible, I could definitely improve. And you put a couple of notes there, what could you improve? Or if you believe maybe you're a 10, why do you believe it was a 10? And you just put those notes there. All right. And of course, if someone else is doing it for you, they can do the same thing as well. And you'll see here, it's already automatically color coding it for you, depending on which number you put inside here. So if you're like a 3, now you're in a red. And then you go down to the next category, which is tonality. How do you rate your tonality? Again, be as objective as you can. 1 to 10. Maybe you had decent tonality, not incredible, and you put whatever notes you want there to really improve. Your pace, let's just say your pace was nails. You had a great pace. You felt like it was overall very smooth, very melodic in how you carried the call. So you give yourself a 10 there. You can put whatever notes you want there as well. You can put the same thing with inflection. How is your inflection? Maybe it's an 8 there. Put whatever notes you want. How is your attitude? Did you have a good, positive, upbeat attitude? Did you sound down in the dumps? How would you rate your attitude on the call? Let's just say you were 7 there. You can put whatever notes you want to get. Or maybe perhaps you're a 10 across the board and you nail every part of everything. But of course, you get to the point where they give you some sort of objection, like, hey, we're just frankly just too busy, and maybe you just totally botch it. You don't end up booking the meeting. Or if you're like, well, I absolutely nailed it, I think I'm a 9. Well, the truth is here, let me actually minimize some of these. Boom. The truth is, if you're at 9.83, you should have booked it, right? Which means you probably didn't actually properly effectively handle their objection. So the cool part about this is when you put it in here, you get a 9 or greater, you should have one simple result, which is you book a meeting, right? Because at the end of the day, either you booked it or you didn't book it. It's just that simple. So this is a really powerful, simple way to gauge your cold call very quickly on how well you did. So that's the first piece of the scorecard. So that's really powerful. So what you can do with this piece is you can go through, grab, say, a handful of your calls. You can duplicate a bunch of tabs here and go through and rate them and see how you really improve. So for example, let's just say today you get 5 conversations that are all recorded, actually content with prospects, and you only booked 1 out of 5. So your conversion is about 20%. You can go through and rate all 5 of them. And even though you had booked 1 out of 5, you should rate that one as well. And go through and take a look at yourself. What could you improve? What did you do well that you want to continue to do? And what could you improve? This is a really great way to remove any type of happy ears and to be able to objectively look at your calls to see what did you do well that you want to keep doing and what areas can you improve on, stop doing, and do better for the future calls as well. So the next thing we're going to go through is we're going to go through the discovery and demo. And I combined just one tab together to make it really simple. This way it makes it easier to go through. And yes, of course, same thing as before. You can put the date and prospect name as well. And you can go through, and this is the discovery framework that I teach called the powerful framework, meaning if we're able to get to a level 10, absolutely crush it for all these components, the chances are pretty good we're going to be able to progress this deal forward. So for example here, like P for pain, are you uncovering a clear, big, deep problem or pain for that prospect? What would you rate yourself there? 1 to 10. Again, 1 is you did terrible job. 7, not is okay. 10, you absolutely nailed it. And how would you justify it? What's your feedback? What's your evidence that you absolutely nailed it there? How about opportunity cost or cost of inaction? How would you rate how you uncovered it there as well? And again, with say opportunity cost or any of these are you asking the questions around the situation and having them tell you what the opportunity cost is. So if they realize, for instance, that they are wasting 15 hours a week manually doing data input and they have one employee that's being paid $30 an hour, they're actually uncovering a clear cost of inaction, what's costing those employees or what's it costing them for an actual soft cost perspective, but also what else could they be doing instead. So there's gonna be a cost of inaction as well. So you want to be able to uncover these type of things as part of your question that you're asking that prospect to get them to tell you these things. All right. And then W, wants and desires. What are the desired outcomes from solving the problems? These are the big goals, the initiatives, micro, macro level. How great of a job did you ask these questions to uncover in discovery? How would you rate it? A scale of 1 to 10 again. All right. The executive level influence, decision-making power and process, same. Again, you rate that as well. And how'd you rate it? And what will be your feedback there? And side note, especially if it's a complex selling process, which most processes are getting to that point now these days anyways, in which there's multiple decision makers, are they a level 10 for every part of the process when you go through this, right? R, resources, access to funds. How great of a job did you uncover this specific question to uncover not budget, but are they able to access funds and capital to be able to implement? Are they able to access more budget from someone else? So this will tell you quite a bit as well, because if you're meeting the wrong people, they can't influence the budget. Fear of failure, the F, right? So did you uncover the fear of failure or the doubt that they might have or uncertainty in the existing situation? So if they don't take action, like do they fear they'll have failure in what they're trying to achieve, right? Again, only if you ask the right discovery questions are you going to be able to cover these things. You, unequivocal trust in the company, product, service, in you. How deep is that? What would you rate that? All the little stuff. What are all the key little things that you need to actually put together a pricing proposal, etc., to be able to deliver the promised transformation they're looking for? So you want to be at level 10 for all of the end, and you put all these notes here. And this is part of just the discovery process, because if you did a really good job with that, naturally it's going to lead to going into the demo, right? Or the next step, which could be what I call the high level promise, be able to articulate very clearly exactly where they are and where they're going to go and the outcomes they want to be able to achieve, not just at the little level, but at the macro level for the organization. And then be able to present only what's relevant to them in the demo. So same thing, very similar to before, scale 1 to 10 for all these things. How would you rate it? And what's the feedback or evidence you put right here to be able to rate objectively? And then go into objection handling, right? So being able to articulate, understand, being able to follow this process to uncover and make them feel heard, to get them to elaborate, to actually follow the process of handling objections, which is the objection handling framework right here, to be able to rate yourself at a 10 at this level. And when you do a really, really good job of being at level 10 for across the board for all these consistently, or even highest 9s and 10s for all decision makers, well, if you're there, an average 9 plus should move the deal forward, if not close. Right? So when you start looking at your deals this way, you're able to take a step back and instead of just thinking, oh, I think I did a pretty good job, I feel pretty happy, I think I did an incredible job, you can actually rate it objectively to really see what's going on. And if your deals are consistently stalling out, or you're getting ghosted, or nothing's absolutely happening, or you're losing it to the status quo, chances are probably pretty good you are missing one or more of these things at a level 10 level, and or you're also on the right decision makers in there as well, which will tell you what areas to really improve on your process. And when you have this clarity on when you actually rate your deals this way and rate your opportunities this way, you'll be able to uncover the right things to improve your process every single call that you have. So here's what you do next, right? As we wrap this video up, in the description, I'm gonna include exactly the link to get this document. You wanna go to File, you wanna go make a copy, and I would go through and look at your last 5 recorded calls, rate your last 5 discoveries, 5 demos, and rate yourself on these things. This will help give you clarity on your opportunities, on exactly what to improve. But if you do enough calls, you'll be able to find common trends, issues, and things that you're making on these calls that you can actually improve, because the only way you can actually improve your game is you actually start measuring it, and what gets measured gets improved. And if you're not sure on exactly how to rate yourself, get someone objective to come through and rate you so you can really improve your game. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Head to the description to get a copy of this. And if you want a copy of my Wall Street best-selling book, make sure to grab a copy below as well. And of course, if you enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and comment below what you thought of this video as well. Thanks so much for watching.